The story of Thandi Maqubela and Judge Patrick Maqubela. At Wonderlubasai 4881. Obsession is dangerous. At thatgirls_Annie 1891. She did everything except leave. At Magaboys 1662. The first wife left 'cause of cheating. What made her think her marriage would be different? At Missin 2021. What a sad story. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She was livid and went over the edge. At Anatisohum 7079. Yo, this is unfair to's kids. We as women should normalize to walk away if we feel disrespected in any way in our marriages. At Nkili 2493. I'm a fan of true crime, and I'm even happier that we have a South African channel for it. Keep up the good work, girl. At Nonhlenla 3934. Yo, she was obsessed. She could have just divorced him. At Sintawini Mbiko 204. Divorce is very simple. Killing is the worst decision ever. At Se, Yuani. Infidelity always ends in tears. Why don't we get it? At Miss M. I've never seen someone who's obsessed like this. At Thembai Sosai Institute. Vela Mabina just appears out of nowhere and is agreeing to a murder. Hey Vela. At Kali 8014. If she can, she'll take interviews outside. I don't mean to laugh, but Lo Sisi is such a diva. She really hated that man. At the Bisa 28. Let us watch THR adverts so this lady can be paid for doing a great job, people, please. At Quetzalfetla 3597. I have a feeling that she was the other woman in his first marriage. At Gladisanum Thomvini 6501. Thandi was supposed to just ignore him. If you love something, set it free. At Naladi Goldena. This woman is something else. She is sick. At Sibin 6729. Justice failed a whole judge. Yoo-hoo. I want to believe in karma, but I have seen some evil humans out here thriving, and Thandi looks set to be one of them. At Malusingobi 792. I'm always feeling a butterfly running in my stomach all the time I am listening the astonishing tragedies narrated by this sweet lady. They basically conscientious everyone about the reality of our RSA crime. At Lulukazila 6309. You know what they say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I guess the judge found out it was true the hard way, unfortunately. The Black Widow. At Hlenjadube Bookkeeper. The covering of the face with a pillow shows it was someone who knew him. At Unknowingly Unknown. D1L. Sailor S.A. Mushi Waset Lajala. Meaning whatever that hurts you in a relationship, leave it. God will provide you with a good person if you believe. If things doesn't work out between the two, just walk away, amen. At Anya, B5S. What always strikes me about these cases involving ANC-linked people is how they attained fabulous wealth overnight. A judge and his nurse turned businesswoman wife who managed to buy a house with AR 120K a month bond, as well as a luxury apartment in Cape Town. While the majority of us are worse off now and can't even use the train as a means of affordable transport anymore. I think the sources of their wealth might also be an interesting true crime case. At Linda Wekabu 8846. This woman is extreme. Loving yourself and walking away was the best in this situation. Thando and Rosemary Nomia and Lovu same WhatsApp group. At Makand Maqubela VW 7CJ. My mom was raised by Patrick. At Sharon Coombs 5851. South Africa judicial system is a joke. At Kateree 6814. The most important thing was her life, and she did not make it a priority. She loved him more than herself, and that was recipe for disaster. At Thandakathwala 3363. Being cheated on is a very psychological matter. At Anthony Kenneth Point 1780. I almost spat out my tongue trying to read the name Maqubela like the narrator did. At Malag Shane Irene Fala. Rosemary. At Kanye Creates 5420. Honestly, one thing I've learned about these relationships where there is cheating and multiple partners is someone will snap and people will end up dead. People literally end up losing their lives. It could be the wife, the husband, or the side. At Mawashathakadu Patricia 8093. Keep on updating us with the previous cases. At Teen Office 9274. What a sad and sorry story. At Sasaskitchen 2435. She should have left when she realized it was way too much. At SE1E. Marrying a rich or popular man is tough as long as men have money. They think cheating is a way of being successful. At Velaswagala 2348. Ihu, life is a pushback. Hairstyle of Valafim John Jenny, Shadow. At Nellis Abigail. Yo, the ending surprised me. At Risho Ketswim Thambani. Yo, this level of insanity. Going as far as sending pictures of his genitals to his colleagues. Why not just leave? Or let the cheater be Bat Hong. At Maxine 6933. I remember this one. She dealt with him shame. At Gunnizel Tanya, EU8DK. I didn't know that Advocate Maqubela was linked to ANC. At Jones 8459. The evil is too much in some PPL. At Kim, Lustine Camp 4866. Finally, a true crime that's South African and correct pronunciation of the victims' names. At Davin Timba 2915. Your report about this case is just excellent. Above all, it's perfectly narrated. Well done. At Kemunar. Rich people have time to play Yazzie. With all that money, they still manage to destroy themselves. Thank you for another banger. At Choose You Forever. Ad followed this case. I had no idea she is now out. Whoa, the SA justice system is corrupt and incompetent. At Mazabuko_Nosifo. Thandi was filled with rage and jealousy. I wish she just left him or accepted his cheating ways. Then all this gathering up of evidence and making him to resign. At Thandania with 5353. She should have filed for divorce cause while the dude was for the streets. At Mo_Rams. It's unfortunate that his wife let this man's infidelity run her mad. We deal with cheating differently. I wish she chose herself and left. It's not uncommon for men to drive women crazy. It's better to leave and just start over. At the_Zuri_nutritionist. No justice in SA shame. Never has, never will be. At Steak Events. The aircon worked well for her plan. At Thamabokava 7090. What a bizarre story. At Makand Maqubela VW7CJ. I'm actually related to Patrick, I'm a Maqubela. At Jessica Sabila 871. Damn, today's story left me speechless. At Futafuko 7555. Why didn't she just leave him and get her divorce settlement share? Kill a man because of cheating? Hi. At Leseoea. I'm about to write my matric exams and your videos are a wonderful reprieve from studying. At Great One Fromza 234. Damn, she really got away with Murdi. S/O to her lawyers for appealing the case. The prosecuting authority was probably incompetent whilst they had all the evidence. At Thembai Sosai Institute. This is so intriguing. Thanks for the detail. Way obsessed you, Thandi. At Mr. Stars. Tilda over interrupts people. She should let people explain. At Pamela Tyre 8386. This woman was obsessed, so psychotic. At Nampalo Angel Makamo 5414. Oh Lord, the only thing to sort this was to file for divorce and exit. At Langudamikik 2412. After so many years, this case is still deeply disturbing. At Nampumalemazabuko 5112. A whole judge did not have a will. At Thembai Sosai Institute. An entire judge without a will. At Londudube 6137. Thandi, why not leaving him? You thought you were better than the first wife. The man had girlfriends and money, you couldn't stand him. God knows what you did. At ADHD 875. When he cheat on you, look for his best friend and cheat with him. It's a tit-for-tat fair game. Don't divorce him, but pay him with the same dose. At Nambu 33. Ihu Spindi Salo Mama Nkosi Yam. At Akonapiza 7977. Maybe the same Thandi was the reason for Judge's divorce, and now that's a Kalakai. She couldn't take the heat karma. At Spongalem Gamezulu 4119. I really enjoyed this. At Lilikam. Wow, she got away with it. At Albicha Glory. She was obsessed. At Farai Maridza 1645. The justice system of South Africa is a total joke. At Wise YSCN 3. Started watching your videos last week and I finished all of them. Keep up the great work and thank you for bringing us these stories that have helped me grow and mature my thinking on the topics of love and society. Black excellence. At Faithra Mottlehale, 8761. This is really craziness. At Sands West, 1837. This is what I hate about the SA justice system. It can feel so luck-based, people being found guilty or not guilty based on luck. You're the last person in the room with the deceased. You heat up the room to cover your tracks, take their phone and pretend to be them, but gets acquitted. It's hard to trust the justice system. At Sabutum Coco, 9162. She was probably sleeping with Vela, ignoring her own infidelity. She's the queen of psychos, this one. At Massant Legion, 6021. Killing someone for cheating, you will never rest for the rest of your life. At Kgea Jalagalane, 5229. You are such a remarkable narrator, my lady. At Cricketera. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. At Madame Babaloy, 2916. Don't play with people's hearts, they might take your life in response. At Ikajedov. Well done to the wife. He deserved it. At Dithamedtech, 2143. But the circumstantial evidence was overwhelming. I can't believe this lady got out of this scot-free. At Proudly SA, 7804. But she appealed and won because no evidence linking her to the murder. At Grassamorii, 6241. If he does it with you, he will end up doing it to you. At Alex Konda, X3P. South Africa women's, it's too dangerous. At Musamags. I love your content, sis. This woman is evil. At Makungulender, 4690. I've been a fan of crime documentaries, but finding a South African one and a narrator who can narrate the stories so well with respect, it was a bonus. This is my home now, thank you, sis. At Zwad, 3423. This woman was obsessed. At Nami, 689. This woman had so much energy, but not enough to leave the cheating husband. At Dimfomasiko, 9698. Bofib killed this man. At ElSegundo_AI. FYI, ASC is for cooling and heater is for heating a room. At Ntandang Kagogo, 62931. She did everything to get arrested. At Matololo. Beautiful delivery as usual. There is no justice in South Africa. At Mbalintabila, 4060. Yo, I Thandi though. At Surprise the Maneuver. Natural causes with a pile of clothes and a pillow over him. The air gone. Fogging the will. Yo. At Mole007. Why didn't she use all these evidence to get more spousal support? At Johannes Outland, 2674. JP Benench. At Queen, 2723. I love that women left men for cheating before I was born. At Iandism, 2269. It's her compiling evidence, then she continues staying with him. Banla. The phone alone is evidence enough she did it, but in SA you need to have a good lawyer. Kasana. At Tholanixalai, 4054. Hence Kosas are not good for add-ons. Thandi was busy. At Anathizola. This woman is dangerous. At Thabing Sakata. She knows she could have left right. That's what normal and smart people do. At Nozabil, 1999. Next, Najwa Peterson. I love this channel. At Shelly Ludla, 6153. Sounds like a movie. At Gundomatumba, 191. This story was very saddening. A whole judge failed by the rotten SA justice system. Thandi is as calculative as they come, and she is enjoying her happy life scot-free. Utterly disgusting. At Mama Hustru. Why do these women always harass the other women instead of their own husbands? At Sivianantument Shamatsa, 2130. I wonder Uffiunswaki, very beautiful and sweet woman, I miss her. At Rebranded, U23K. I had hoped you post this case. What a throwback. At Kumogoagoses, 9834. Always tuning in from. At Lunjald Langalala, 904. YOO, what about the phone and the life-forging SMSs, as if they come from the judge? At Winnie Malyalik, 312. Thank you for this update. At Isnails. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She should have left him. At Tabelo Ramakotsi. At Thunziemafu, 4655. What about circumstantial evidence? Phones being in one place at the same time and her booking her return flight in advance is suspicious. At Bonjekalabasa, 3624. My mom used to go to school with her. At Bakal. Your wife is either going to build or destroy you. This story is so sad. Nobody deserves to be killed. She should have left this man or not even bother or consider watching his moves. We all know most of rich married men are cheating. VCZ, they got what most a lot of young girls want, which is money. What goes around comes around. At Aldenaro 5334. While the justice system in your country needs help, the circumstantial evidence is strong enough to prove she had something to do with it. Plus, she can now get money she forged a will to get? That system needs revamping. At Laura Mococa 7778. Well done for telling the story. Keep us informed with new development of sharing inheritance. At Nadia Solomon 9922. Please start a podcast. At Liana Co 6XO. The fact that she forged a will and left out the other kids proves that she wasn't a nice person. And why she mad that her husband cheated when she was also helping him cheat on his first wife. At Tsumgai Vogue. This exhausting. At Zimrans. She was crazy. At Kaniasalensis Wayne 8018. Yo Thandi. At Tmashteshi. Whenever I get a notification saying you have uploaded a new video, I get super excited. Thank you. At Olabo Jenkitsutswang 2411. Dangerous obsession. At Magaboys 1662. We need a mind drama about this woman. At Infinity Abundance. Not the Viagra pills. At Simingayan Lova 4083. But the phones are compelling evidence. At Pamela Tire 8386. This looks as what I do when I see your notification. At Queasies. South African justice system is the bomb. At Silofellow Belinda 448. Thank you so much. I miss these long videos. At Sifawankoza 971. Thank you for such qualitative investigative journalism. I always felt bad and pity for her as I had so much political conspiracies, but with all your balanced analysis, I have an objective view of the entire saga. Thank you. At Tozam and Kimasambango. She got away with it. Marriage is not pap and Vlaze. At Karabakh.Masakila 5489. Thandi was a premium sleuth. Divorce would have been a better option. At Gugagumbi 7413. Keep bringing these stories, Cece. I am one of those who lives everything she's doing whenever I see the notification for the new story on the plug. You are always coming with a bang, Cece. Keep it up. At Tokolo Homakina 7882. Wow, shocking ending. Considering the fact that she took his cell phones. At Versus Boy 4762. MG, I'm going to be staying at Bantry Bay for a couple of days this weekend. At Fofa Bagefelli. Amadala, his age, approached me where I was living. Smart BMW, etc. I asked him if he has kids and he says yes. They're my age. Anyway, I was so grossed out because I know some guys live far from home. Meanwhile, they have wives at home. So around that time I saw this lady his age, scouting the place, checking who lives around, etc. And obviously she saw me and gave me this bad look, but I didn't feel offended because of assume she knows he likes young women. Anyways, my takeaway was that this woman comes and cleans the place, cooks for the week. She probably misses him so much. She seemed to have been a stay-at-home wife. And my heart was so broken for her. I didn't say anything, but I was so disgusted in his behavior. So the one day she came and made sure to look so smart. She's probably like 55 to 60, and she's slaying with skinny jeans, weave, all that, and I haven't seen her with such clothes before. For me, it seemed like she's trying to maintain her husband's attention, and that was so sad to see, 'cause she really looked more ridiculous than anything else. I've been in a long-term relationship like that where I was so insecure because of the emotional abuse and rejection and abandonment for women who are more successful, have nicer cars, nicer bodies, and pretty faces. So everything about her just reminded me of the time I was with my ex, and this is what these bloody Madala are doing out there. Not all, but a lot of them. Please don't entertain them no matter how nice of an iPhone they can give you. Just stay away from them, even if it's just for their wives' sakes. They've dedicated their lives to these men, and I do get that guys get bored. They can do whatever they want, but for yourself, don't involve yourself. At Iandasexash 7198. Married for money. Till death do us part. I want my money, Thandi Maqubela. At Kutwana Ramachodi, S5N. Zansi Es Kak. At Ngunikas. Yene, Some men really have power over women. Would I really go to this extent instead of leaving? At Bedham following 6685. With all the evidence that she should have filed for divorce and gain the most of everything and leave this man alone because he was also human, but I guess she wanted his life. And she doesn't stop still looking for a share of his staff. I wish for her to get nothing from this man's inheritance. She's evil. At Zamabubo 912. If Isabindi was a person Ulomuma. After God, fear women. At Londudube 6137. Hope she is in prison. I hate what she did. At Rainbow_static1. That was his karma. At Aletten Lanzi. Thandi is a crazy. At Duffy Don 1741. This woman was a sore loser. He had consensual sex. She was a sore loser. Imagine driving from JB to Bloem to confront what woman? Please, if you feel uncomfortable, just depart in peace and keep your dignity. You exposing your man exposes you too. Some of us will ask ourselves why your husband ran around so much when you were around him. Damn murderer. At Osoda Wilberforce 2321. This was very foolish of this woman. Shensi type. Lazy investigation. At Zolangem 2 V8T. I didn't know she was acquitted. I-ho. At Simon Zaba, KG9HF. I don't think she killed him because of cheating but greed. She just wanted to inherit everything. Otherwise, she would have easily divorced him as he had already asked for a divorce. At Andrewsonkosi 4508. Why must you kill someone you met one day, yo? I think if a person kills, that means she or he is a. At Senzalanjima 4022. So instead of him saying, I have to stop cheating, he says, I have to divorce this woman. Wow. At Lusandum Jolo. This is an example of how women become crazy over men. Hey Kubi, the energy to collect all this info. For what though? He will leave anyway if he wants to. She should have left years before. At Ntankar. Justice does not exist. At Viwamband 9497. After this video, consider me as a subscriber. Great content. At Nz 5533. Jolo Wanisa Mr. Judge. At Umfaziwed Lozi. TJO. What a story. Thanks. I am enjoying your channel Yazi, and you narrate so well. So did she inherit some of the 12M? At Perseverance Seminole 5584. Thandi. Bathy, how you get him is how you lose him. At Princess Losha 4869. Divorce. She should have left him. She is his wife, she gets half of their wealth and she moves on. If you're not going to leave, then you have no other choice but to accept it. He didn't deserve to die just for cheating. At Faith Kanial 2579. Initially thought this was the effect of infidelity as it can drive a woman crazy. But it seems more like it was fear of losing the status/lifestyle/material things. This is the love of money, cause she could have just left. At Thado Thado. She won. At Angia Casuela. Be careful who you marry. At Cephas Moffat 3783. I cannot judge her actions on her husband, but when it comes to the kids, she should at least let them eat what their father worked for. She mustn't be selfish on that. At Sanabo Belma, U5F3Y. The most stylish murderer, Mrs. Thandi Maqubela till death do they part Shem Mati. At Amiagli 2448. He didn't deserve to die, but he should have divorced his wife the minute he decided to cheat, mostly when he realized she wasn't the type to be cheated on. At Yiked 807. But she took him from another wife who didn't kill him. At Businessiwelity 9467. I was about to bath. I saw the notification, I left everything. Thank you for your hard work. At Thermecadubula 3783. She got away with murder. At Maureen Wambua 7876. This was obsession. At Cambridge. There's something wrong with South Africa as a whole. More especially the indigenous/black communities, right from top to the bottom. Africans generally have issues, but one would think South Africans are top tier in most, but oh well. At Matford Ford, Kritzinger 3990. I didn't feel sorry for this woman. She cheated with him on his first wife. What did she expect? She also committed fraud and forgery to write his first wife's 2 kids are of his will. She is evil. At Marawangari 2555. Hashtag road to 100K subscribers. Girl, you deserve that silver button 9. At Mandingan Point 9745. I also believe she's guilty, but she won her appeal, found not guilty. Hope they don't sue you. At I am Lebakoti. Very sad story. At Celia Gonzalez 3847. What a waste of energy and money being spent on a dirty cheater. LOL. At Lalit Shiki 5508. But if she did not commit the crime, how was his cell phone in her possession? So basically the courts let her walk out freely. At Dolly Magojo 7130. He played around and found out. At Natalie Nguenya. Zo9GZ. Within an hour 3.3k views. When am I gonna be the first to view a new video? At Nthabasing Mashaba 1. Thanks mama for always updating us. At Namkosashoba 2454. This is sad. At Curiousk 4083. Hey you mom Thandi. At Thados 1408. OMG, she literally wrote my favorite verse Joshua 1 verse 9. At Zama 1629. I just can't get enough of your content. It's so captivating. At Michael Sibbs 492. He was stuck with a psycho. At Bongamatha 6287. She could have written a book or directed a movie with all this much of admin work she put towards the one person she was supposed to love through thick and thin. Ladies, if life turns you into a private detective, it's time for you to leave him alone and choose yourself. So the cell phone possession was not used as evidence beyond reasonable doubt? Sad, sad story. Beautiful work. I'm plugged. The Plug South Africa. At Naturally Becca 4360. Impeccable reporting. At My House List. Jesus, on this earth so many things happening. Good God, only you know. A cheating man/husband can be something else. Psalm 46. 10. Be still and know that I am God. What goes around comes around. Thanks for sharing. ITS sad. At Lou 146. Kalitya Motho Imungwia Tlamfua. Poor man was a good provider. What more did this woman want? We all live for ourselves. Tlojlango Balaya Bana simply because Bai Jala. At Faith Madila 9661. I always look forward to your stories, thank you. At Selma Boo Boo. Basically, she just turned into a scorn woman. I just hope all his kids benefited fairly from the will. At Sidwell Zakaria Mankoba, DQ9FY. Cruel witch damn Thandi. At Alice Acaniel 3249. Hen, is she being a mother? Now kids have lost both parents. At Non-Landlawadi 60. This was a very interesting story, thank you. At Shalafilo 93. So corrupt individuals suffering from their own greed? Okay. At Vukalaramashala 2639. This woman is evil, the real Black Widow, but it is a lesson to men as well to notice the red flags as early as possible. Imagine trying to get your husband fired and failure to that decide to forge his will and murder him. How did she get acquitted? At ZPConline. She compiled a whole case for a favorable divorce, but decided to act on her emotions. At Ntandang Kagogo 62931. She did everything to get arrested. At Tasha Babe. Would Tandy damn. At Nongkolyolkakanyil Lima 4790. I like seeing a notification from this channel. At Binted Lamini 6965. Do Senso story. At Rebecca Majire. He was a horrible husband, a terrible human being, but killing him was in no way beneficial to her. At Mims Wepatop 8012. I love your videos and I'm so glad you are no longer using that song to start videos. It used to mess up my vibrations so bad. I don't know if I'm making sense. At nomanjasi_. I dated a judge for more than 5 years and I saw his payslip with him getting $80,000 per month, so this man having an apartment worthy of millions in Cape Town upmarket areas and lavish lifestyle. JAA nay ANC toddlers. Thandi, God can help your soul and you will be happy given, babe. At Life with CC 9035. Please update is on the will issue when everything is settled. Be careful of Njolo the pandemic. At Syndicoma 1. She's heartless for excluding the other kids in the forged will. At Shiro's 5370. Articulate narrating, keep up the excellent work. At Nampumalemashil 5654. They clearly were married in community of property. She could have divorced and gotten her share instead of driving herself mad and killing someone. I hate that she got away with it and will be rewarded his money after. At Gisela Kazart 9746. This woman was definitely mental manipulative psychotic narcissist, because this is what narcissists do. She did all this to try and humiliate this grown-ass man to come back home to her, and he did work. This shit is crazy. He was a grown man. You can't make nobody do nothing they don't want to do. This shows you how narcissist she was. Such a narcissist. Just couldn't let go, wouldn't let go by any means necessary. You got to stay married to me. At Thobalam Ditchwa, 8799. Joe. I mean, the justice system had all the evidence. What more were they looking for? A footage of her doing the deed or a confession? At Marvin Dube, 1773. Sin leads to death. The guy was causing emotional damage. One wife, one husband. Simple, your life becomes do easy, fruitful. You just need the gospel live by rules of the world. You will die accordingly. At Infinity Abundance. Sis took a page from How to Get Away with Murder. At Athai 771. I'm curious between the two, which one would God condemn for committing a sin? At Neman Benemuof 7480. Then woman studied patrichology Shem. At Berton Maser 5542. Kunzima to be a man. At Nkamasalm Tolo. She was supposed to live him, not to kill him. What a pain. At Tyra Caroling 3556. The system failed the judge, the law itself. Wow. At Nlana Lanzimand 4001. Clearly her logic has gone off the grid, probably got lost on its way there. At Komatsosathek 663. Enjoying your videos, keep up the good work. At Silathawenlovu 8220. Love it when your videos are long. At Sibilamula. I will never understand why women who are cheated on always go after their partner's carers instead of leaving them. At Timbawanga 3038. She had too much time on her hands. This is not okay. At Scumvilembana 3911. Divorce or leave. Being consumed by adultery of your spouse to a point of murder is insane, crazy. You have your own life to life, inner peace and happiness. Instead, this woman was playing PI, then humiliate the man publicly, to his friends. Fine. It's all good, if that's how you feel, run with it. Murder is evil, creepy, shows her heart was pure devil, murderer, ambush your husband with another man, deserve jail. At Kajiso Thebe. Wow. At Shellslau. This is so sad. At Cybalingalo. I really love the sound of your voice. At Fridasilia 7123. She should have just left. At Thandafelity 8638. She is so cruel. At Sharon Coombs 5851. Once a cheater, always will be unless changed by Jesus Christ. At Zoe Jack 451. Ua Lomama. At Sayabong Smfika 6720. That dude liked Kuka too much, but anything that has to do with the ANC is no good. Get rich quick schemes and crime. At Bongmaster 213. Why didn't this woman just leave? At Sandalam Tungwa 1538. Greedy Thandi killed her poor husband. At Susan Mobing 5874. What in the madness was this? Yo, Kunini Engthi YOH. Lo Mama. At Michelle Ager 5812. Ruthless. At Yuyandamabia, DV3QC. I honestly wonder if these stories get you feeling down, cause some of them are borderline depressing. At Queen of the Dark 1TT 933. She's mentally disturbed. At Mariaya 4940. She had no right. At Sfumaces. The plot twist at the end? At Sindaswapala 8937. There was no marriage between them. At Ammo 2475. Notification gang. Thank you, hun. At Mbalan Hlekulini 386. I love it when you upload. At Lindazitha 3366. This woman was damaged. At Anovuyotokwana 4302. Keep up the great work. I love your videos. At Guga Sanderson 1735. She was obsessed with him and was set to ruin his life. At Guga Sanderson 1735. Oxaleo, she stayed for 4 years. Damn, she's evil. At Jan now. How did she get away with that? At Mako Suzanakunin 7999. Unfortunately, cases are bought in SA, especially through Juju. May the judge's family find comfort that God, the Chief Justice, will judge fairly in the very near future on what truly happened. At Namandent Langula 3261. Thank you for telling us these stories perfectly. At Fridasilia 7123. Really? At Tom Beneleshengace. Thank you so much, sis, for all the good work and the time you put in to make us glued to this plug. Please continue to keep us in the loop with what's happening around us, you're amazing young lady. At KM4336. Well, he shouldn't have cheated. At Shalat Kalanga 9667. Did she eventually get the inheritance? At Winnie Amabula 7747. 18 years? Then overturned? At Enoch. So she basically won. At Ndalika 216. Noma Hamill, may karma meet her. At Thandi Sweeney 355. Thandi Y? Cub Waika. At Lisali 1675. That was too much legwork. She knew he was cheating, so doing all of sending documents receipts does not going to change anything for her or for him. She was just doing too much a cheater, always a cheater. At Ntandem Themba 257. This sounds like a full-time job. Jeek Thandi. At Lee Sebos. At Rolani Cornelia Kuna. Well presented. Keep up the good work. At Margaret Scamolo 4578. The Magudumina type. Evil Kosa women who think their flamboyance will impress law-enforcing agents. At Mapla R2N. So, what was the outcome did she inherit? At Sayabulalenkala 4437. She was very sick. At Liberty Him 92. Joe R120000 per month damn. At the Bemas 161. She should have just left him. At Margaret Sanana 6549. This woman is so greed and she got away with murder. I don't understand South Africa's justice system, 'cause almost all your murder cases are given a sentence of below 20 years. This story has hurts. You mean to tell me they could not see the motive? At Solomon Madisha 8644. Yo. At Sophia Lovinglife 597. Wow, she is a narcissist, a full-blown one. At Lubabalanjanja 732. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to have a wife. These people are evil. At Meme 5861. This woman Kadwa. Thank you very much for the update. At Joyce and Demace 2645. Thou shalt not kill. At Ray of Letsatsi. That Hong Patrick, you'd think after his first divorce, he would have grown up and stopped cheating. Some wives don't play and are crazy. Messing with married men is dangerous. I can only imagine how much harassment his side chicks faced, lol. Thandi was slaying to court Bat Hong. At Kuko Kultsengwa. Kumbu is not a village in itself. At Se, Yuani. So all he couldn't do is stop cheating? All she couldn't do is leave? At Kismlunga 7883. Never tell anyone about life insurance policies, especially your wife. At Sandalas Bonolo Percival 2454. All she wants is money. At Demru_1. Awesome, when you're not winning, just leave and start all over again. You are not defined by your partner. The marriage had reached expiration. Her investigation shows she was married to a lawyer. She hated losing. She was vengeful. Her remedy for her was prison. At Unique 2023. This case reminds me of Patricia Gucci, who murdered her famous husband and was later released. Not supporting Thandi, but this should be a lesson to men. Treat your wives fairly and with compassion. At Esternong 3372. Why didn't she also cheat Mara Awa Mara, taking someone's life for infidelity? This lady was madly in love, greedy and obsessed. At Sarah Sabiko 5815. She never loved her husband, she was after his money. At Charlotte Athokoa 711. Jaw crime pays. At Nkensanam Longo 9206. Love this channel. At Baden Isle 1781. She was obsessed. Sick-minded. Why not divorce him and move on? At Lovely Lyra. Cheer. She actually got away with it. At Thabaso Augustina Mashala 740. She had her husband's phone with her. Sent SMS to various people acting as her husband and forged a will as well. How did she explain that in court? I'm assuming the place didn't have cameras. At Tsungai Vogue. Sorry, Judge, you should have stayed with your first wife. At N1575. It feels like I just watched How to Get Away with Murder to Men. When you no longer want us, please leave us before you cheat on us. Don't make us benchwarmers. To my ladies dash, don't let a man tell you twice he don't want you, leave before you sing when a woman's fed up. At Vyasalanadlaba in 9587. Nyala Unyo. At Yolanimzandi Du 7 Su. 2303. At Thandamasara 9254. Thank you for the updates, you always deliver. At Laratosaretsi 5603. Too jealous and betrayed her husband in the worst way. Talk about an evil woman scorned. At Clarineful. Fear woman really, why stay walk away. At Just Saying 02. A scorned woman who got away with murder. At Miss Bay 28. Boy was he a cheater. At Chantella South Africa. Unbelievable. Such a beautiful lady. I am asking myself, was she obsessed with her husband or with his money? Blood money won't bring you happiness. But yes, the devil takes care of his disciples. Rest in peace, Mr. Maqubela. At Thulamuller. Hell knows no fury like a scorned woman. If the judge spent as much time working on his marriage as he did running around with young women, he would see that he married a very intelligent and passionate woman. Probably none of this would have happened to him. I don't understand why men will marry you, make you have a bunch of kids, build a life with you only to sleep with women who could be his granddaughter. I never feel this much pity for the killer, but this was a crime of passion, and they were both in the wrong. At Tofaneja. Okay. At Sinisifondalo 199. Please post frequently. At Mojelavapizzo 9377. SA law is joke. If this person was a man, she would have been in jail right now. At CanUS 7. Iho. My aunt told me that she was the one he cheated on his wife with her. Thandi is dangerous. At Silicate 4392. He was badly decomposed, but no one could detect the smell? Hape smell SA Motho La Soling Senka Huri. At Thobal McKinyane. She was a psyche. At Sinizamalabuquana 5396. She actually got away with murder. Can you do a story of Andile Bobo Mbutho? At Namvamimuro Saralarala 5143. With this Thandi is very dangerous and cruel. Why would he prefer to kill the father of her children because of cheating? What kind of jealousy that would make you kill? It's clear that she loved money and high profile. Sisman. If it's wrong for men to kill women because of jealousy, is also wrong for women to kill men for jealousy. Her children know very well that she is not innocent because of the pace that she was moving to destroy these young women who were involved with her husband. At Snennelancanana 2436. Love your content. Please do the story of the Bonim Zolo and Zolail Engzumalo from MUT. At Tiwithatapatra. She seems like a strong woman and a no-nonsense wife. At Palasanio 28. Sila. At Tujdmgubadeli 7073. You this lady has Ernaji Nao digging you. She is evil as how she took him from his first wife. She thought what happened to first wife won't happen to her. She thought she is a gold MNCMMM. At Baden-Isle 1781. Very greedy evil woman. At Roses_777. It's what you get for stressing your wife with cheating. We judge her, but until you are cheated on and humiliated by that and exposed to STDs, you won't understand her wrath. At Optxm58 KKKKHGF7 Bopape, PR8JJ. You know your story and how to present. Keep the good work on and up. At B-Sugar1. Unbelievable how someone can murder. Forja will then get acquitted and live happily ever after spending the deceased's money. The justice system is shit. I hope she never has peace. She's mad anyway. She could have left the cheating husband, but was running around threatening young girls and finally ending someone's life. I also find it interesting how some people start using God's name in such times like God would endorse their actions. At Tabuya Moyaga 9284. Well researched. Ams Wandal Kamani. Love this channel. Yazame God keep on blessing you sister. At Sanatsotame. He acted like she betrayed him for exposing him, but he's been cheating and lying and probably not feeling guilty. She was mad. I could say I understand, but I would just walk away if I were her though. At Thokos Ilanalapo 6503. Well researched plus your voice is smoothening. At Cleum 6582. What is Viagra? What does it do? At Yana C9T. She is not well. At Thandakosa 7489. I wonder what she thought she WD gain. It's better to leave and build your life afresh. Sorry. At Afrikami Motherland 5962. Thanks for this. But please know that Kumbu is not a village but a town. At Rue 5672. Judges should be upstanding citizens. He should have been relieved of his duties. At Mariah 4940. She was a Pico. At Thando_Kumalo. How does a whole judge not have a will? At Vince_78. Hard to blame one from the other. One has insatiable love for young kids, the other for money. At Joyce Mokate, Zeus 7KC. Is she still in jail? At Nkobeliana 464. She was miserable. At Machete. She had so much work to destroy the one she supposedly loved. So he died before being a judge Bat Hong. Thanks for such informative work. At Sindamthethwa 9926. I always say this, once a cheater, always a cheater. They'll never change. From Buffebe. The wife could have left the man, but honestly, I don't feel sorry for this man. This is what Buffebe does. It can cost one's life. At Maggie Salawi. Psycho, evil woman. At user 06709. He cheated on the wrong one, the first wife, that is. At Malfan. I didn't know the full story before, and I blamed Thandi Maqubela for being evil. But now that I understand everything she went through, I stand firmly behind her. At Shalavala 29. Missed you. At Sunkosi. Jesus, why going all over be a security to an adult Jesus as long he provides and respects you. At Aminasha Lizia 5995. She had so much energy, can't believe she drove all the way from Johannesburg to Bloemfontein to just tell a young girl to leave her husband alone. Her obsession made her to definitely kill her husband in a cold-blood narcissist woman. With lot of drama she caused into her husband's life, she should have filed for a divorce. At Asir 21. Men and loose pants. At Mislissa 11. Nah, this item was not normal. Africa needs to stop glorifying crazy wives. I remember growing up hearing people idolizing SA black widows. This is not normal. Leave if you're not happy after infidelity. At Bonganamasina 5569. Viagra pills. At Catharinaratib 1488. Psycho. At Lukalokalani 516. Please be corrected, Kumbu is not 3 hours away from East London. At Tojdngabadeli 7073. Evil wife. At Nkanya Zinedine. She can't benefit. At Team 783. Unreliable asterisk. At Ikajing Meaty 3532. At Lily M. I know you probably watching this. At Keep It Frank with Fence. While I condemn taking out your spouse for cheating, there is a saying, never grab a scorpion by its tail because you may get stung. Women are emotional creatures and some are very unhinged. You do not know what cheating will trigger in them. Also, the judge was too quick to marry this woman without doing his research. I feel like both men and women can learn from this story. At Alwithunium 5711. Why 300 and some kilometer from East London and not use Mtata? Curious girl lady whose dad is from Kumbu. At Patricia Setelo 4527. Keep up the good work. I love your content. At Kali 8014. People we date/marry sometimes will drive us crazy to the point where it's dangerous. At VK28. Mower. At Tynisham Cody 2854. Well, murder is going too far, but he should have just left her than cheat. Anyway, lesson learned. At Lolly Emuan. Love from Texas. At Lindum Tia. HB3NV. He divorced his wife for the side chick and ended up marrying her, and years later, he cheated again. Then the lady couldn't stand that, forgetting that it is exactly the same thing she did to the then wife. Women at times ha-a. At Polanala 1421. So she is out and watching Springboks with us? Absolute gangster. Anyway, the law does not give a sh/t about men, so this is normal. At Amended Vessels. I wonder what was wrong with her, exposing her own husband like that. Most of those powerful men does things like that, and their wives are quite. If she couldn't take it, she should have just left like the first wife did. At Dungathandanani 7107. She should have just left. At Peko Fikado Takanian 7214. No one can serve two women or two men. Either you will hate the one and love, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both. Even the Bible says that. Love is for two. 3 means divorce. At Kingman Wabizophatus 6880. Is Thandi Maqubela still in jail? At Rosinaramolo 5539. Thandi, with that overwhelming evidence, who can really blame you? Patrick married you to get absolutely everything legally he needs from you. He had no right to do what he did, therefore you did exactly what a responsible woman had to do, as you thought you were both going to take your marriage very seriously, but not for fun. He wasted your time, humiliated you, belittled, deceived, and made you a stupid person while you were very serious with your marriage. Therefore, well done, Thandi. No woman would like to marry that kind of a man, as he brought that to himself. At Laratamusi 4595. The late did not learn from past experiences, lost his first marriage because of infidelity and now his life. At Sivawekalu 6996. Cici Thandi Maqubela Mani Kwezondao. This is one case I binged on religiously, so I seriously have mixed views here, but Kuasatsi. At Nakulungakumalo 6282. Jaff Handeve, is he Durban Gogo's dad? At Samguni. The Sanayu Thandi, she did everything but to leave. Leave with your mental health intact, Nj. At Nomar H05G. Hey, she's sick, very sick. At Lauren Semet Loli 9271. Well done, Thandi. At Clady. Sorry to ask, but why are you only telling the 2009 crime story now? At Samuel Mumia, QJ4JJ. I think married women should stop being obsessive with their husband activities long in marriage. Men always have side chicks. But that doesn't mean they've stopped loving you. At Ilmataquarld 2133. Technically, he was not cheating. He merely outsourced some services to younger women. Peace, love, and love.